Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. This is your ultimate guide to the new zombies map Kowakujo, featuring everything you need to know about the map itself, from where everything is, where you can find it, to the Pack-a-Punch machine. There's some really cool side quests in the map, there's a new wonder weapon obviously, and there's a really interesting parkour quest that I think you guys are going to love. So let's start with the locations of the map itself and just walk through them one by one. In the spawn area, that's the outer ward, you've got the rampage inducer of course, and you've got quick revive and two options for ways to leave the spawn. On the right hand side is Speed Cola, followed by Wisp Tea in a very beautiful little area. There's also an armor wall by out there, a crafting bench, and that leads you up into the kitchens. Then in there you've got Double Tap and an arsenal machine, and if you keep on going you'll get to this massive central cherry blossom tree, which is where Juggernog is located, and that pretty much covers the right hand side of the map. Then on the left hand side of the map you've got Stamina Up straight out of spawn, then Death Perception a little further on, and also an arsenal machine in the stables area, and you'll also find Melee Macchiato out there as well. In the top area of the map you'll find PhD Flopper, Mule Kick, Elemental Pop, Vulture Aid, and Pack-a-Punch, and there's also crafting benches and an arsenal machine and all sorts of other bits as well. So Pack-a-Punch works by you doing 2 banner ward defenses, and you simply interact with the banners and then remain in the circle until it's completed, sort of like capturing a point in domination. And then you'll be able to remove these gate glyphs. There'll be a bunch of zombies inside. Take them out. There'll be an Oni in there, and you'll need to take that out as well. And then you head up the stairs, and you'll find the World Seed, which turns Pack-a-Punch on once you've killed a couple of zombies. Now, one unique feature of this map is the trees system. There are several of them. One is located just here. Another is in the kitchens area here. There's a third by Melee Macchiato here. And the last one is up in Tenshu, which is in the sort of castle itself, just here. When you repeatedly melee each tree, it will activate a radius around the trunk in which you can pick up a buff if you stand there for a short time, and that buff will actually grow if you stay standing there, and you'll get overhealed by 10 and then 20 and then 30 HP, etc. for the longer you stand there. When you've got this buff, if you run around in circles, you'll get a temporary speed boost, and this is also something that you'll use for the main quest Easter egg a little later on. Now, there's also some interesting traversal options in this map. It's not a portal that's a fast travel system or anything. Instead, it's a kite. So once you get into the castle, you can purchase these floating fish for 500 points, and there are a couple of other fish spawns around the map as well, and they will then transport you to the other end of the map. And you use this during the main quest as well to get the Kitsune mask, but we'll save that for another video. If you want the main quest Easter egg guide, make sure you're subscribed and it'll come up in your sub box very soon. Now, the special rounds on this map are very unique, I think, because the first one occurs on round 10, and it's an assault wave, kind of similar to what we saw in Firebase Z, which is a crazy map to be making a reference to here in 2026. But it's a wave where you have to defend a couple of statues from zombies, and the Shadowsmith Nixara will also be attacking. And then you'll get a max ammo upon successful completion. Now, if you get pushed back, you'll be knocked to another area that you have to defend, and if you're struggling with this, I really recommend using some decoys or monkey bombs. It's going to make your life so easy, and for a successful defense you get a max, so you might as well burn all of your special equipment, etc., because you're about to get it refreshed again once you do get the max ammo. Also, a special thing about this map is that the crafting bench is discounted during assault waves, so make sure you save any heavy crafting needs until those waves in order to preserve some salvage. Next, let's talk about how to unlock the wonder weapon in Kowakujo. The first part is a cat figurine, and this has 3 possible spawns. One is in the gatehouse on barrels, as you can see just here. The next is in the kitchens area, again on barrels, just here. And then the third is on the opposite side of kitchens on the barrel, just here. Hold interact to pick that up. The next thing we need is a bell, which is in-game referred to as a furin, and you can find that in the stables hanging on the front door of the submerged house here, and there's another possible spawn for it in the training area on the right of the wall by. It's going to be pinned on the wall. And then there's a third possible spawn on the left of the spawn door staging area hanging on this wood here. interact to pick that up when you find it in your game. And then there's a third part, which is a figure of a guy. And this again has 3 possible spawns. The first is across from PhD on the ground just here. The second is down the hallway on top of this table on the right-hand side. And the third is further down the hallway and to the left against the wall. Once you found that, interact, pick it up, and then go to this workbench and hold interact, and you'll craft yourself the cat grenade. So you need PhD Flopper, and you can buy that from the machine just here. Then you need to come over to this box, as you can see here, and PhD Flop near it, and that will knock the cat down. Then pick up the cat by holding interact and bring it to a patch of lava. I'm doing it right here as an example, but you can actually do it in multiple places. I'm going to throw the cat in the lava, and then I'm going to go to the next round. During this round, there are 4 different gateways that we are going to check for possible spawn points for cat paw prints. And in order to check each of these spawns, we need to kill a couple of zombies in specific areas. So the first gateway area is just here. Kill a couple of zombies exactly the way I'm doing, and if no paw prints spawn for you, then move on. The next possible gateway is just here. This is our next possible area. Kill a couple zombies, check for paw prints. The third is going to be just here. Kill a couple zombies, check for paw prints. And the fourth is just here. And if you've killed more than about 5 zombies and you haven't had the prints spawn, even though you've killed them in the right place, then you should move on to the next gateway and check that one. And also, if you're having problems, make sure that the player killing the zombies for the paw prints has the cat grenade equipped. If you've run out and you don't have it anymore, you can go back to the bench where you originally crafted it and you can buy another one for salvage, but you're going to need this for the end of the step anyway, so make sure you've got that. Now, there are rumors about there being a 5th paw print location. There are 2 approaches I want to take here. Number 1, if you can't get any of these paw prints to spawn in your game, check the video description. And if I get confirmation there is a 5th set of paw prints, I'll simply put that location in the description for you to read. Super easy. Now, the second approach is I want you to make sure that you're killing zombies in the correct places that I'm showing in the gameplay. And if it still isn't working, you could try doing it on the next round, potentially, as well. Or it might also be worth making sure that you did the previous step where you threw the cat into the lava and then flipped to the next round. Because you might have just thrown the cat box down, but if you missed the lava, it might still be waiting for you to pick it back up again. Once you've got paw prints to spawn in, you need to kill zombies while they're standing just in front of where the paw prints are pointing to. And the easiest way to demonstrate this is to just do it visually. So you can see here, I'm lining up where the paw prints are facing, and then I'm killing zombies ahead of the prints themselves in that direction. And when you've killed enough zombies in this manner, it will cause another new set of paw prints to spawn. You're going to do this several times, killing more zombies in front of the next set of prints, and then in front of the next set of prints, and eventually the prints are going to form a little circle. When this happens, you can use your cat grenade that we crafted earlier to throw it into the middle of the circle, but you need to be careful for 2 reasons. Number 1, you need to make sure that you don't miss because the cat grenade can bounce, and number 2, this will only work properly when the lava is active in that area. So if you've got frozen over, cooled lava, it's not going to work. It needs to be the normal fiery lava. When you've thrown the cat grenade in the circle, an abomination is going to spawn out of the lava. You need to kill that abomination, and when you do so, it will turn into a cat, and the cat will run into the wall. Before we move on, make sure to flip the round. It's now going to be really useful if you've got depth perception, because depth perception is going to highlight the creaky floorboards we are about to need to interact with. So grab yourself depth perception from the machine just here, and then ideally kill zombies to get to the end of the round, and just leave 1 or 2 zombies alive. That's going to make your life a bit more straightforward. You then need to find whereabouts the cat has run off to. And there are multiple spawns that it can be, and it will always be near one of the creaky floorboard spawns. So there's one creaky floorboard spawn here, for example, near the kitchens area, and you might have the cat at the back there. There's another creaky floorboard spawn just here, and there'll be, again, a cat at the back of it if this is the one that you have in your game. And there's a third creaky floorboard spawn just here, as well. But you don't need all of them. You just need the one where the cat is hiding in your game. Now, if you've checked all of the spawns and there's no cat, you might just need to go to the next round because you might have already startled the cat and made it run away. And just be careful during the round not to startle the cat in any of those locations accidentally. And you will startle the cat if you use a field upgrade near the cat as well, or if you shoot your weapon or sprint by where it's sleeping. However, assuming you have found the cat, I recommend you get sneaky. So you're going to crouch, you're going to slowly approach the cat, trying your best not to stand on any of the creaky floorboards, which means looking down at the floor and trying to walk in between where the floorboards are. If done successfully, you'll be able to get to the cat without creaking the floor, and you'll then be able to hold square to pick it up. Once the cat is in your hand, you need to bring it to the egg or the world seed, and once you get there, you're going to hold square to interact, and the cat will float towards the egg, and then wait a couple of moments for it to become corrupted, and then once it's in that state, it's going to start pulsing red. You then need to run to the world seed and melee it several times, and it's going to knock you back with these massive red pulses, so try to do it in between the pulses, and once you've done that several times, you'll then have an animation play, and the cat will be able to be picked up from the ground, and that's it. You've successfully crafted the cat wonder weapon. Next, let's talk about the special enemies in this map. You've got scorched zombies, which are zombies that have stood for a bit too long in the lava, and they'll explode when they die, and they also can set you on fire. There's hellhounds, which obviously work like hellhounds, except they drop fire pools that can kill zombies very effectively in this map, so worthwhile being aware of that for your strategizing. And there's the Ori, which is the new special zombie. This thing is absolutely awesome, but it is very weak to headshot damage. If you're using a weapon like the Raygun Mark II or the Cat Wonder weapon, you're going to absolutely clap its cheeks. The Ori has a slam attack where it will send electric damage your way, and when you first take out the Ori, it will also drop a part that you'll need for the main quest Easter egg. Now, of course, there is a new music Easter egg in this map, and the song slaps, so I do recommend in your first game you activate this one and have a listen. You'll find one Mr. Peaks headset that you need to hold interact on here in the kitchens area. There's another here in the stables, so hold to interact on that. And then lastly, there is one here at the onsen baths. Hold square on that or your interact key of choice depending on your platform, and that will start the Easter egg song. Next, let's talk about the Fissures. So these are going to appear in various areas of the map, and when they do, if you stay in that area for too long, you will choke and eventually you will die. So you need to leave that area for a time, and that might sound really annoying having areas of the map closed off, but there's kind of a balancing mechanic where some areas of the map will have the lava there harden, and you'll then be able to move around in that area more easily than you otherwise would do, and that will be a temporary effect, and then the hardened lava will eventually melt again, and it will become dangerous once more. Now, inside the lava, when it's active, you'll sometimes see pieces of rock which will be floating along, and this is something we'll talk about more in a second, but just for the time being, if you see that rock in an accessible area of the map, if you shoot it, it will turn into salvage, and you can then grab that and keep on going with your game. But like I said, there's some extra cool stuff to come with those pieces of rock, which we'll talk about in a moment. But first, a couple of extra side Easter eggs for you. We've got the free double points. For this one, it's on the central tree in the central courtyard. You can find it just here. For the free Nuke power-up, it's inside the lava east of Melee Macchiato, and you'll find it just here in the training area. And then for a free full power, you're going to go to the Flower Garden, which is where you can find Wisp Tea, and you can find it on the roof of one of the houses. You'll see it just here. Next, let's talk strategies for the map. I've seen a couple of places that people are really loving to hoard up. One is the Melee Macchiato area. It's pretty wide out there and it's decent for hoarding zombies up, but the massive central courtyard with the tree is also a really great space. And for those strategies, if you can get the PPSH out of the box, it's an ultra rarity weapon in this map, and it absolutely shreds at high rounds, especially when triple pack-a-punch, so that's definitely something to keep keep a strong eye out for, or the wonder weapon is also very strong as well. So now let's talk about that really cool little side Easter egg that I adore. So for this, you're going to make use of the floating rocks, but you need to be in the melee macchiato area. When you're out there, as time passes, you'll eventually see a rock come floating on by, and you need to jump onto that rock and then float away into the land beyond. You're going to see lots of lava ahead of you. You're going to feel very isolated, but keep on going. Eventually, you'll come to a building that you can mantle on top of, and once you've climbed on top, if you look kind of behind you, you'll see that new rocks have spawned in the lava that you can jump on. So this is the first stage of the puzzle. It's a little bit of a jumping puzzle, but it's pretty straightforward. It will then transform into a wall jumping puzzle, so it gets harder. And then after that, there's another puzzle that gets even more difficult to complete. And if you fall in the lava here, it will just spawn you back in, but you're on a timer, so you do have to complete this quickly if you want all of the rewards. And if you do it successfully, you'll get yourself a free Raygun. So with all of this stuff done, you're pretty set to actually start work on the main quest Easter egg. I'll link that on the screen right now. Thanks for watching for the time being. Make sure you've dropped a like on the video as well, and I look forward to seeing you doing that main quest. Bye for now.